Welcome to a live episode of Breaking the Grade. This is a little bit different. We're in Studio 420A. Don't get any bad ideas about why it's Studio 420, guys, because it's 420 because that's the number on our apartment. Nothing else. Okay? Get your head out of the gutters. You're also seeing me wear a hat and a t-shirt because basically I've been on the road for the last 2 weeks at ERDI and IEI. And today I just didn't feel like doing my hair. And we were supposed to have two guests today, Carlos Zapata, who's the founder of the Unicorn Academy, and John Gamba. You guys know John Gamba real well. But John's making his way onto the stage. John is like classic talent. When I used to work in the TV industry, you had some of the people who, were going on the air at 6 o'clock at night and they would be there at 5:59. And you'd think, don't you need to sit down earlier? And don't you need to get ready? And don't you need to get in the right headspace? And you know what the thing about those people and the great John Gamba? They don't need it. They're just ready all the time. Their hair is perfect. They're perfect. Ken, if John is ready to come on stage, we are ready to have him. Please bring John up when he is ready, when we can see him. But if we can't, if something's going on with the screen, that happens too. It looks like you tried to bring him up, Ken, and it didn't make it. John's camera is still not working. Ken, can you also put up our lower third here that has the title of our event? We're just getting ourselves together here, guys, but we are live and we are going. I'm watching in the chat here. John, your screen is not green. It is black. Maybe just do a restart, John. But we'll be here. So Ken, if you can put up that lower third there with the title, that's always good. We should do that before, of course, but obviously we're, just getting going here today. So today we were supposed to be joined by Carlos Zapata, again, who's the founder of the Unicorn Academy. And Carlos joined me. There he is.
Can you hear me?
And we can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm talking back to you.
Oh, good. Good to see you. Thanks, Kenner.
Yeah. What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good.
I heard all your superlatives. Thanks. I don't ever feel ready. Josh, are you a 2 hour before the flight starts guy, or are you like me, challenging with the 25 minutes running through TSA without having pre-check?
Absolutely 2 hours before with clear and a plan of what I'm going to grab first if I need to check something, because if I'm going through like a weird airport or something. But yeah, 2 hours before, ready to go. I want to sit down. I want to have my coffee, just like my wife. We like to be there and not be rushing. It sounds like you're a little different.
You got to be there and twiddle your thumbs. That's cool. I respect that.
Well, no, I go hang out in the club. I go to the United Lounge.
Bottle full of bub.
Yeah, well, except that they don't have one in Burlington. There's no bub in Burlington, that's for sure. Yeah, but
good to see you.
Where were you? Or are you just kind of doing your talent thing?
No, I definitely wasn't. I like to be a little bit more on time. I apologize for that. But I was giving a tour. A good friend of mine, graduate of the great University of Pennsylvania's friend's daughter, was here. So I was touring campus, and I gave it one extra building and then ran back. So apologies for cutting it close, but yeah, Jade was awesome. She was wearing an Eagles jersey, which was fun. And, we gave her a good tour. Her father's from South Jersey, and hopefully she'll apply.
That's great. I appreciate it. You show up. You've been running around. It's 900 degrees where you are. Your hair is perfect. Today I decided to go hat. because I've been doing my makeup for the last 2 weeks at ERDI and IEI, and I just wanted to just kind of dress down for everybody. So
Yeah, I hear you.
I
You
am.
still look good.
Thank you. And I told everybody as we got going, I said I'm in, Studio 420, and I don't want anybody to get any bad ideas because you know that our apartment is 420.
I saw that.
So that's for real, right? You saw it.
I saw it.
Okay. So today we were supposed to be joined by,
and there's a dispensary downstairs. I saw.
well, not downstairs, man. It's
Across the street.
across the street. It's not in the building. But
No judgment,
yeah,
Maggie.
it's
No judgment.
super close. And if you're wondering, it's not that impressive, but it's all good. So today we were supposed to be joined by Carlos Zapata. He's the founder of the Unicorn Academy. You love this guy. I met him at IFE in Monterrey, Mexico, back in January, and we did an interview that we just aired. And Carlos said, I would love to join you guys. However, I'm going on my first vacation in like 3 years. And I said, okay, well, if you can join from where you are, do it. If not, all good. So the Unicorn Academy has taken a lot of energy, and now Carlos is taking a vacation. He's not going to make it. What we learned from Carlos during his interview was basically what happens when clarity, because he had a lot of clarity in what he wanted to do with Unicorn Academy, when it meets confidence, because he didn't have the confidence. You wouldn't think it. He gave off this confidence, but he didn't necessarily have it. Does that resonate with anybody out there?
Well, tell me more as somebody drops in the chat. But what do you mean? Like
somebody dropped in the chat? Oh, no.
He exuded confidence, but he wasn't really confident.
A little bit of an imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk a little bit about that.
Where do you think that emanated from?
From him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know him well enough to say that. I know myself well enough to say where mine comes from. I have some ideas of potentially where yours comes from sometimes. But I don't know Carlos well enough. He would have been able to answer that better. But nonetheless, it is something that I think a lot of us experience. And when he was able to overcome his imposter syndrome, he was able to be more confident, and with confidence brought clarity, and with clarity brought more contracts for the Unicorn Academy. And we've got some takeaways, and we've got some action items for the group. And then we're going to kind of touch on ERDI and IEI this week, because we both were at both those places, although we were ships passing in the night. Vermont. So one of the takeaways from the show, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it yet, and this is going to really resonate with you because it's, I think you dream about this, is that buyers aren't thinking about perks. They're focused on ROI. And we're talking specifically in the education space. So can you react to that? Buyers aren't thinking about perks. They're thinking about ROI.
So I have been thinking about this a lot, and I 100% agree. I also want to switch out buyers and investors. We're actually thinking about how to position some of our EdTech entrepreneurs that we work with investors, not only with buyers. Investors also are thinking about return on investment, or ROI. So the first reaction is, it's interesting. In the investment world, we're thinking about MOIC, multiples on invested capital, IRR, internal rate of returns for investors, and DPI, which is distributions per invested capital. And so those are the measures with investors. And I am seeing more and more buyers of EdTech products and services thinking through the lens, not of a shiny object and, oh, maybe this can help my principals or help my students through a student-centered learning context, but thinking about it on what is the measurable value? What are the outcomes? What is the return on investment I'm going to get? And as I've been thinking about that, one of our semifinalists, last year we shared about college contact. This week, last week, college contact. This week, think about Literacy Tree, who we saw at both ERDI and IEI.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. They have a signature solution. They have messaging that is built around ROI. So we, Literacy Tree, will reduce literacy gaps in 12 weeks or less, and we guarantee that result. Don't see that a lot in the EdTech space, a guaranteed result. So if a literacy gap is not reduced in 12 weeks or less, or in a semester, your money back. I think that's really powerful. And I think that at ERDI and IEI, that message resonated.
Yeah, that message resonated with a company that I saw when I was there for the startup lab in terms of guarantee and money back. If you have time and would like to, feel free to put your name and your LinkedIn URL and where you are in the chat, and I guarantee you we'll call you out if that's what you want. And maybe people would say, no, I don't want my name called out, so I'm not going to put my name in there. But feel free to if you want. One of the other really important takeaways for me there we go. Jesse, thank you. See, post, get called out. This one looks like it's for you, John, because we're talking higher ed here. Higher ed buyers focused on ROI. Are they? It's a question. I talked to leaders at institutions and they, in parentheses, brackets, largely don't understand what ROI is.
So, Jesse, I'm with you. I think that we have to be careful of buzzword bingo and ROI being return on investment, and use a synonym to outcomes. So while I think your question is, will a higher ed buyer literally say, I am spending $50,000 on this EdTech tool and I will get $60,000 back in a return? Classic analysis on ROI. I would like to say more and more buyers, K-12, higher ed, and workforce, career learning, are thinking about the investments that they're making in product and services and ensuring that there is a return, even if that return on investment isn't financially calculated. It could be a return on investment that can be a specific outcome on a learning gain. It could be a return through the lens of stakeholder engagement. It could be a return that is less measured through the lens of finances, and possibly more subjectively in the area of stakeholder growth or end user outcomes in terms of learning gains. So yes, I do think that higher ed is probably less geared toward return on investment through a financial lens, but I do think that more and more buyers are thinking about what is the specific measure of success that I can expect as a result of using this product and service.
Very good. One of the parts, I'm doing some editing. James, who's James? Where'd that come in there, Ken? I'm doing some live producing as well, guys. Let's try here. LinkedIn. I feel like I'm back in Harrisonburg. There we go. Nope. That's not what we're looking for. Ken, if you can, we should put up what our title is here. This is live TV, John. This reminds me of my days back in Harrisonburg. One of the things, now back to the show, that I thought was really interesting. There we go. Live producing. Love it. One of the things that I thought was most interesting about what Carlos talked about is he mentioned cold outreach. We talked about LinkedIn. We talked about cold email. And he said, and we agreed very much so, that cold outreach fails when trust is missing. And it's so clear to me that there are, unfortunately, a lot of people in the education space will try LinkedIn cold outreach, and they'll hire a company, and the company will charge them $500 a month to do some outreach. And they're thinking, well, shoot, if I did this for the whole year and I got one client, it's all good. So why not? The thing is, the company doesn't know. Oh, that's a bad screen grab, John. There you go. You're back. The company doesn't know who you are and what your transformation is. And your credibility is not being built. Therefore, when people do check you out, they don't know how you can help them. So cold outreach fails when trust is missing on LinkedIn. Cold outreach fails when trust is missing via cold email, because an email could be sent if the messaging isn't clear, if the offer isn't clear, if your credibility isn't there when they go to check you out, meaning your LinkedIn is, a dead zone, then they're not going to respond. And you're going to end up in the pile of, oh, I got another cold email from somebody that I'm not responding to. And they may hit spam. And if they hit spam on that puppy, your domain reputation is taking a hit. So cold outreach fails when trust is missing, but when the trust is there, because we do cold outreach, although I call it targeted outreach. I call it targeted outreach because we target the right people. Our messaging is very good, very succinct, and our offer is very clear. And when we do that and they look and they say, who's this Josh Chernikoff guy? They're more than likely to say, I'll spend 15 to 20 minutes online with this guy and see if he can help me. So he talks about the trust needs to be there. John, do you respond? Because I'm sure people reach out to you via cold email or via LinkedIn. Do you respond to any of those? Have you ever responded to one?
I love, in the age of AI, trying to delineate between, how and I got targeted with an AI blast, sponsored email. Sometimes I can't decipher, but I do think that everything that you just said related to trust, related to targeting, is dead on. I'm still kind of hung up on Jesse's question and delineating between ROI and outcomes or returns, right? And I think that the level of response you get from an outreach is directly attributed to the value that you can espouse. If somebody reaches out to me and I get past the fact that it isn't just completely cold or completely spammy, I want to know who else is using this product or service that you're presenting to me. Can I verify it with a specific person that is in my network that I know and trust? And can it be quantified in a way that's more than just vaporware or, oh, this was really good? Did my students improve a grade level? Did my teachers increase their well-being? Did my board have more transparent information that I, as a superintendent, could present to them?
Right.
These are the contributors to me opening that email and giving you 15 minutes.
The reason I was laughing, John, is because I am quite often the recipient of your, do you know this person? Is this real? Have you worked with this person? And so I do know you do your research. We've got
Wait, I have to stop you on there. It's better than that.
What's that?
It's better than that.
What's better than that?
And that is, not only do I give you do you know this person, but my favorite from you, Josh Chernikoff, is this guy us? That's my favorite. That we now know exactly what we mean by one of us. Mm-hmm. Now, hopefully I don't get fired for this, but if we can talk candidly, is this guy a douche?
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Let's talk about, like, is he one of us? What does one of us mean? Is he credible? Does he know what the F he's talking about? Does he value relationships? And is he bound by integrity?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he one of us? Would we go to a airport lounge 3 hours before a flight, sit with them for 3 hours? Or would we be, staring at our watch and trying to figure out where the lounge at the other end of the Dallas terminal was?
I'll meet you at the terminal. I'll meet you at the gate. Are they a 3 hour before beers, or we'll just meet at the gate?
Yeah, totally. But I think that's important. And that's not just a vibe, right? One of us has those values and has those qualities that are developed through trust over time.
I often say, I'm sure you've heard me say this, that I am a member of the John Gamba coaching tree. And I think I made that up myself. I never really asked you if I was even a member of the coaching tree, but I put myself in that tree. And I always think of Bill Walsh when I think of that, the great 49ers coach, because he had all George Seifert and Mariucci and Mike Holmgren, all these coaches in the NFL that we know very well who came out of that. And so one of us, would they be maybe not a member of the coaching tree, but would they be somebody we would have a beer with or multiple beers with? And you have to know your stuff, and you have to be credible. You have to care about yourself, and you have to care about others. I don't know exactly how we got on the subject, but we're here. It brings me to Philip. Do you know Philip?
I don't know Philip. I know Heather.
Phillip. Yeah. Well, let's get to Philip first. Philip is one of us. And Philip's a really good dude. And one of the things I appreciate about Philip is that he keeps showing up with us. And I love that, and Philip, we really, really appreciate. He was at a LinkedIn event we did last week, and he's here, and we're commenting on each other's things. So he's definitely one of us. So thank you, Phil, for showing up here. And then Margarita.
By the way, Josh, on that LinkedIn Live, that Philip was there at, I may or may not have gotten a couple texts. Were you commenting about my hair again?
Yeah. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't say anything bad about your hair. There's nothing bad to say about it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm learning a lot. He's talking about your hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. Literally, what could you say bad?
Well,
you were blessed with great hair. So enjoy
anyway,
it.
I digress. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But it was funny because
Philip,
you texted me right when I brought you up.
By the way, we've got Heather and Jesse, to be clear, are one of us.
Okay. Yeah. No,
I've known Heather forever.
Yeah, Heather. I'm getting to her. I'm getting down there. First, we have Margarita Arake. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Margarita. In education, the ROI is hard to measure depending on the type of product or service. Some results can take years or ... never come. And I am with you on that. And I can tell you that John and I were at IEI up in Stowe, Vermont. Thank you, Doug Roberts, for my invite. It was John's first time, I think, as well. And I was a part of the startup lab. And there were some businesses that were there with some phenomenal founders who were really there to listen and to learn, and had been at this for many years, and were really kind of at the almost out of cash part. And I had some tough conversations with a few of them. John, you've watched the documentary Stutz, and when it comes to Stutz as a type of therapist, I'm more like Stutz. I'm not gonna, if you have a drinking problem, not that I would discuss somebody's drinking problem, I wouldn't say, hey, let's dig into why you have that, or how are we going to help you? Tell me more. I'm like, here's how you can potentially start to fix this thing. So one of the conversations I was having was, it was about credit card debt. And, people have different thresholds on credit card debt. And this particular gentleman, really kind-hearted and really working hard, and I hope he's able to get this thing and going, was really concerned about his credit card debt. And I said, so what are we talking about, man? Might as well tell me. And I would say that at times my credit card debt has probably been 100, was to a level that would have put this particular gentleman in the ground. But, sometimes it never happens. And I told him, I said, it's okay if this doesn't work out, because you have put in a ton of hard work. And so if you don't get the results, it doesn't mean that it didn't work. It means it's teaching you, or you're learning something else. Have you ever had that tough conversation with somebody or yourself that it's time to fold up the tent?
Yes. Not only conversations with myself, but conversations with loved ones. And when you have a family, that's really, really tough, because you fall in love with your baby, right? You fall in love with your business, your vision, your venture. You go deep, and it's hard sometimes to know when to fold them. But heck yeah, have those conversations all the time. I like to say on my major exit, the company died 9 lives. Thankfully, I didn't give up on the 8th, right? And so it's tricky. And people have to really understand the thresholds and have open communications with the loved ones. If they're spending their own money, that's fine. But if it involves family money, if it involves, joint decisions with family members, it's really important to have those conversations. And those are really tough conversations.
Yeah. I probably should have folded it up during the pandemic on my after-school enrichment aftercare business, but we did pivot to online enrichment. Granted, I didn't come out like OutSchool with billions of dollars, but I was on to the right thing. So that gives me a little bit of validation. I didn't end up selling that company. You have somebody who responded, who's a LinkedIn user, and said, John responded to me. Don't know who they are. Philip has experienced imposter syndrome and feels that to this day. And I feel it quite often. And I think so do you. And then there's Heather. She said, I wrote a cold outreach today referencing a mutual connection. Okay, I'm cool with that. Whom I had obtained prior approval. Love that. I'm about to write a post about people who don't obtain prior approval, and secured a solid meeting for tomorrow. The trust was the connection, and the materials I included spoke to a need the person has now. Heather, if I was a little bit savvier on how to bring people onto this show, you might be the first person I would bring onto the show, because that's really what cold outreach is about. Reference a mutual connection, get prior approval, secure the meeting, because the trust was the connection. The materials spoke to the need the person has. Therefore, clearly, you secured a meeting within 24 hours. You were there for them, and they didn't feel like it was cold. I love that. Gosh, I wish I knew how to bring Heather on the show. John, say something smart so I can see if I can bring her on the show.
You can't, because she had to leave early, but she's looking forward to the recording. But of course,
how do you know?
Heather would join.
How do you know she? Oh, unfortunately, I have to leave this. Heather, you were going to be our first.
What, bringing her in from the chat? Yes.
I can probably do that. I should probably learn how to do that. But Heather's gone. So
Ken can do it.
but she's gone. He would have to find her.
I mean, if you really had cojones, you would bring Jessie up right now and ask her what she means by controlling the variables on the guarantee.
I mean, this isn't a matter of my cojones. This is a matter of technology.
What are you?
You
technically illiterate? Yeah,
you
me.
are. We know you
Go
are.
on, Ken, make it happen. Jessie.
Okay, Ken, if you can bring somebody up, bring Jessie up. Okay.
I want to talk about this.
Let's see if we can do this. Oh, wait. Invite guests. Invite up to 10 guests. Okay. Jessie, how about this? I don't know if you're up for this, Jessie, but I'm going to do this.
Allow her to decline, though, if she does not want to.
Yeah, totally. You can decline, of course. I'm just trying this out. Jessie, this is live TV. If you look in your LinkedIn, I have just sent you a link to join. If you want to get on, don't ask John how to do it because it takes him many tries. But use Chrome.
Don't use Firefox. Chrome. Chrome, yes.
Don't use Firefox. Don't use Internet Explorer 1. John is the last copy on Earth.
Commodore 64s are not supported on this platform.
He's got his AOL CD with him all the time in case he has to get online.
My floppy disk.
So, but Jessie, you are invited. You're the first invite we've ever had. John, we've kind of veered away here from Carlos. That's okay. We got about 15 minutes left here. I want to talk a little bit in the last couple of minutes. First of all, I encourage everybody to listen to Carlos's show. He's a really wonderful guy. The action items from his show that we listen to identify, the best pitch here that shouldn't involve features. Okay, and we talked a lot about that at IEI. Audit your last 5 sales conversations or emails. Hold on. I know what that sound means.
Jesse, look at that.
We have a guest.
Jesse, were you at the pool?
And you guys should get a badge for this.
Yeah, were you at the pool and you had to run to your office to click in and come into our? Come on, be honest.
How did you know? Can you tell?
No.
I'm not all dressed up like you are.
Yeah.
Jesse, we really sprung this on you, and it wasn't until I saw the little plus and the person that I realized, oh yeah, that's how you add the guest. But it worked, and I don't even know how. Maybe you clicked, and then Ken brought you on, and here you are. This is truly live TV, and we're happy to have you. Tell everybody who you are and where you are.
Hi, I'm Jessie Bating, co-founder for Education Assessment System, and I'm coming to you from Arlington, Virginia.
I have heard of it. It is across the ocean from where I am.
UDC people. Crossing the bridge is such a big thing.
It is. It truly is.
That's so cool, too. I used to live at near the Boston Metro.
Mm.
So I'm
like literally a minute away from it.
And
Jesse,
Clarendon area with the little microbreweries and the bars and the coffee shops there are really cool. I love that little area.
I don't know how far you guys go back, but Jesse, can you imagine a 20, 30 something year old John Gamba running around the Clarendon ballroom? I can only imagine he was one of those people he doesn't want to be around right now.
Yeah, I you know what? I probably saw him on stage at Whitlow's, listening to Gonzo's Nose, right? Like, right? Or do those ring a bell for you?
They do. All of those. That's a small world. That's really, really cool. And my sister just moved from McLean to Georgetown, so the roots are strong there in the DC area.
Minus the sports connection.
Minus the sports.
Okay. So Jesse, we're here. We were talking about ROI was one topic, and also we were also kind of discussing cold lead gen, and
the guarantee. I want to hear her response. I want to hear more. I like the guarantee if you can control access to all of the variables. Say more.
Yeah, so I think that unless your system is able to actually track people all the way through, right? A lot of higher ed tech is very niche. We're not very comprehensive. So I can help you on the front end and drive leads, but how many of those actually enrolled? How many of those actually completed? I'm dependent upon somebody else somewhere else in the organization to report back on that, and have to trust the accuracy, usually with some sort of a delay. So that's the only reason that I put that in, because it's really hard. You're dependent upon somebody else in order to do it, in order to be able to really show that long-term buy-in. So I love it. I love the concept of it. Getting to actually like be able to get an institution to be able to help you report on it is really hard. And I would say that from being at a huge company and at a startup company and now at my own company, like it's a big lift to try to get like that transparency.
Yeah.
That's all I meant.
I really like this topic because not many people have either tried it, figured it out, or institutionalized a guarantee. Because you know those people who, if there's any guarantee, they're just going to get their money back anyway because that's just the way they are. What I love about Literacy Tree, not in higher ed, in K-12, about this, and I'm specifically responding to controlling the variables. They know that they can't control a lot of the variables, yet they're still confident that they can deliver a result that would not compel that district to ask for a refund or ask for their money back. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty compelling. That, in my opinion, can contract or compress the contact to contract dramatically, because they're first putting their money where their mouth is. Second, recognize that some of the variables are out of their control, but saying, hey, if we work together on this problem that is so big, the literacy crisis in U.S. schools, so 70% of our kids can't read, that some superintendents, and we saw this segue, Josh, to ERDI and IEI, we saw them kind of lean in on it. Like, wow, they're willing to guarantee it, even though some of those variables are out of their control. That's pretty cool. That cuts a lot of noise out in terms of this isn't efficacious, where there won't be an ROI, where there won't be an outcome. And if they drop a brick, shoot a brick, they're willing to give their money back.
Shit a brick? What do you mean drop a brick?
Shoot a brick.
Never heard
but
that.
I think with that example, though, John, is really tied to they control the pre-test and they control the post-test.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They control both sides of that, which is fabulous. Like, kudos to them for being able to control it that tightly.
Yeah.
Does a guarantee feel too salesy? Is there a better word? Is there a different way of saying it? Because it just kind of has I feel like a salesy, middle of the night home shopping network, somebody yelling at you in a cheesy suit feeling. And by the way, I make a guarantee in the Ed Sales Elevation experience. And so I have had to get comfortable with saying that. And I generally couch it with, I'm not really comfortable saying this, but I'm going to tell you I have a guarantee. And in my first business, parents in the Washington, D.C. area would always want a guarantee on grades. They would say, my kid's getting a D. I need them to get an A. Can you guarantee that with your tutor? And I'd say, I can guarantee my tutor's going to kill it and they're going to show up, but I can't guarantee you that the grades are going to go up. In my second business, Jesse, you can probably relate to this. I worked with PTAs, and I was able to raise, X amount of dollars for a PTA in McLean, and then the PTA in Falls Church that heard about what happened in McLean would say, can you raise those dollars? And I would say, I could raise double if you did double the work. In this business, in the Ed Sales Elevation experience, the guarantee that I make is that people will be able to sign 3 of their highest converting, highest quality clients if they put the work in, because I will put the work in and the course works. And I know when they're putting the work in the course because I see them complete and I see them show up for 12 weeks. And if they don't get it, I keep working with them until they do. And that becomes my time. And so I feel very comfortable making that. I've never had somebody say, to John's point, I've never thought of it the way you just said, which I wish I could roll that back, like an instant replay. But I've never had somebody say, no, I didn't get the value out of it. Did everybody get to 3 of their highest converting, highest quality clients? No, but everybody's gotten enough value that they've said, thank you. And that was worth it. So I'm not completely comfortable with saying the word guarantee. So I say it out loud. I'm not totally comfortable. Do you guys think that making a guarantee sounds unbelievable or is hard for superintendents or people in higher ed to stomach? Did I stump you both?
Ladies first.
I actually think it's a very timely opportunity, because I think that people are being forced into really uncomfortable decisions. They know that they have to do something different in the higher ed space. We know that we have to do something different, and that change is hard. Change management is super difficult. I think that I'm wondering if this notion of guarantee is interesting, because I kind of like the word, but is that we're going to stick with you until you see the results, right? So we have one client who just said, we haven't been able to get the results that we need. Can we extend at no cost for more time? And we said, of course, because we put in a lot of work too. We want them to be successful. We're invested in their success. And that might be that actually might be better framing, is we're invested in your success. So
I think, John, I do too. It may not be a money back guarantee. It could be an extension of services until we do deliver the desired outcome. To your point too, Josh, I think I do sense and can see the 2:00 in the morning infomercial for the latest and greatest vitamin supplement that's going to guarantee that you're going to have more vitality. And the danger of that, the bad suit, the supplement, do anything to get a sale and hope that they just don't. It's not worth trying to get my money back. I'll never reach them. No, I think it's all in. First of all, literacy tree, they don't possess bad suits. You're talking to one co-founder who started the business and does only impact-driven businesses after his father passed, and he wanted to do something in life that was going to really make a difference. And he exudes that in how he presents himself. And his wife, co-founder, Stephanie, is an Orton Gillingham literacy expert who spent time in the Queens and the Bronx, raising literacy scores. So there's instant credibility there. And it's also in how they give the guarantee, not the wheeling and dealing bad suit supplement 2 a.m, but we're going to guarantee this because of how it has worked with people who have come before you. And let us explain that. Oh, that's disarming. That's not just some slick dude coming in, opening his jacket with a bunch of watches inside. That's somebody who has credibility as a founder, credibility with the services that they've provided, and credibility with the purpose and why behind their business. And I think that adds a lot of bite to the guarantee. And I think language matters and credibility matters.
Thank you guys for having me on the show. I've learned a lot. No, seriously. I learned a lot. Jesse, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Back to the pool.
Go back to the pool, wherever you are in what you're in Alexandria, you're in Annandale. Is that where you are? Annandale?
Arlington.
No, Arlington.
No, I'm messing with you.
You never spent any time at Whitlow's, did you? You're too young.
I did.
How do I bounce out of this very amazing thing?
I spent time at Dan's Cafe. Have you ever been to Dan's Cafe, Jesse?
No, I haven't. I'll have to look it up.
John,
thanks. I enjoy the conversation. Keep being provocative.
Jesse, you and I are going to hang out on Courthouse Road. How about that?
Let's do it.
You're right.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Jesse. Cool. John, that was cool. We did it, man.
That was
well, actually, we didn't do anything. Ken did it.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. So, John, that honestly, that helps me, and I will watch this replay. That helps me. There were some things said there in terms of the guarantee that I make with the Ed Sales Elevation experience that will help me to be more comfortable with what I say. So I appreciate you and Jesse, and completely appreciate Jesse just being like, I'm coming on. And how about that? We made that work. That's super cool. So John, maybe just, you have to go now. What's your schedule? We're 45 minutes. Okay.
But let's close.
Right. Yeah. So one thing I think we can do is I wrote this down. We should have a show about guarantees and how do you make them and what's the right way to do that. And by the way, Alvin, who's been helping me write the shows over the last couple of weeks and months, we're looking for good show topics. So guys, if you have show topics that you'd like us to touch on, please feel free to find me on LinkedIn or John, or email me at jc@joshchernicoff.com, and we will explore those topics. I think one of them should be the guarantee show. John, I think one of them should be groups like ERDI, IEI, Dolly, whatever you want to, who you want to bring up, and we should talk about the value of joining those groups, because you and I spent the last 2 weeks with those good people.
How about swag? Is it worth it? And what's good swag? Can we do that? Yes.
The Lodge. I'm a sucker for stealing these things. Well, this one was given. The Lodge. And then, John.
Yeah.
We got to close with this. John got a package. I took Camila on last Saturday to the post office. And then we went and got Slurpees, and then we found cassette tapes on the streets of Adams Morgan. We picked those up. But tell them the reason we went to the post office.
So Camila's become my best friend. One of my only friends. I don't have many friends.
She's a good friend.
Your daughter, who's adorable, who's personable, who's interested, not interesting. She's living the life. She's awesome. And she sent me some Deloitte socks.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me take a screenshot of that. Don't do it. Don't. Can you keep your leg up there? That's amazing. Oh my God. I will send that to Bettina.
And so she sent me Deloitte socks and some Deloitte swag, which was awesome. And I'm cramping up. Come on, hurry.
I took it. I did it. Yeah. You can put your leg down. Yeah.
And it was awesome. And more important than the swag, which was amazing, was the personal letter that she wrote. That absolutely made my day. Here, 1,500 miles I've driven in the last 6 days, exhausted like you, and to come home to that package and open it up and see it personally written by her just made my day. So that was incredible.
It was personally written by her. I grew up in a house, and I don't know if this is every Jewish house in Washington, D.C. or around the world, but basically I was writing thank you notes before the gifts were given. And so we're big believers in thank you notes. And so Bettina brought home some of this great stuff. And I was like, John would actually wear those socks. And you are actually wearing them. So thank you.
3 days in a row.
Okay. I have a chat. Camila, Bettina, and I have a chat. We call it CBJ. And so I will put that picture in our chat, and she will be so happy. So I know that you have to run. I appreciate you joining us. Jesse, thank you for being our first guest ever. You're going down in history. I'm going to go back to the transcript and see exactly how many times we mentioned John's hair. I think we might have a record today. And next week you're off because the talent can't do 2 weeks in a row. And so we'll see you in August, John. Thanks for joining us. Thanks
see you, everybody.
You
Thank you, Josh, for all you do. To be continued.
Cheers, guys.